To our story on incumbent Prime Minister Theresa May, and our correspondent in London, Catherine Drew, is ready for us. She joins us live from London. Catherine, very good afternoon to you. That first question, let's take it back to that. May coming in at a difficult time, and I would imagine that her task at hand would be to unite the cabinet after Brexit.
That's right, she's got to unite the cabinet, but first she needs to choose her own cabinet because, of course, with the PM, David Cameron, leaving, she will be vacating the position of Home Secretary, and, of course, she needs her own government. So she will be hard at work right now choosing that new cabinet. Obviously, people will be watching very closely to see who she appoints because, as you mentioned, she does need to unite the party after this very bitter battle over Brexit. Many people waiting to see if the prominent Leave campaigners, and of course she was on the Remain side, if she gives them some top jobs. And while she has said Brexit means Brexit and we will make a success of it, many people obviously will be watching her closely and holding to her to account, seeing as officially she was supporting Prime Minister David Cameron, who wanted to remain in the European Union.
All right, and Catherine, besides the obvious that she's the second female Prime Minister, she comes in at an historic time in the UK with Brexit, what else do we need to know about her and her plans for her tenure?
Well, it's going to be very interesting. Yesterday, when she was launching her leadership bid, she started talking about social justice issues and this, what she's called One Nation Conservative the One Nation Conservative Party. She really wants to extend economic opportunities. Now, that was when she thought she had 9 weeks of this leadership contest. We saw the dropout of Andrea Leadsom, and that really catapulted her to the top job, which of course is going to be dominated by the fallout of Brexit, the economic implications. She needs to start negotiations with the European Union, looking to see when she will trigger Article 50, which will start a 2-year clock on those negotiations with the EU, and bringing down immigration levels. So those are key challenges which are probably going to swamp any Prime Minister, but certainly somebody coming to the job new, this is going to be a significant challenges for her.
Absolutely. And Catherine, there's talk of a snap general election. Other parties are calling for it, but Theresa May says no. What's that all about?
That's right. There is talk of a snap general election. The opposition Liberal Democrats very vehemently calling for it, but they don't have many MPs, so they don't really have an awful lot of power. The opposition Labour group would like to see, they said they're prepared for a general election, although actually they're not because the Labour Party are in crisis. They have a sort of slow motion car crash of a leadership challenge, so we don't know if the Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn will maintain the leader. He's facing a leadership challenge. But yes, there have been calls for this snap general election. Many people saying that Theresa May does not have a mandate. She was basically handed this job after Andrea Leadsom, the other challenger, pulled out, and she needs to go to the public. In 2007, when Labour Prime Minister Tony Blair handed over to Gordon Brown, she said there needed to be a general election. But now she is saying, she's got the top job herself, she's saying that she won't go to the country until 2020 when the next general election is due. So we'll see how that plays out over the coming days.
All right, and lastly, Catherine, the last few hours, what does that look like for David Cameron today?
Well, I imagine it's much more relaxed than it usually is. He chaired a cabinet meeting this morning, and we understand many people were applauding him and talking about the things that he had achieved in office. Tomorrow he will host the last Prime Minister's question time in the House of Commons. These can often be very testy affairs, but I would imagine it will be very jovial. Then he will head to the Buckingham Palace to formally hand in his notice to the Queen Elizabeth II, and it is then that Theresa May, Wednesday sort of afternoon, evening, will move into 10 Downing Street, and no doubt she will say a few words. So a rather relaxed Prime Minister David Cameron. Yesterday, when he made a statement, the TV cameras caught him humming as he returned to 10 Downing Street, humming a little tune. So maybe he's in good spirits, certainly as he looks to his future to see what he might do next.
All right, Catherine, thank you very much for that. Our correspondent in London, Catherine Drew. Certainly an interesting time that England is facing now. Catherine, thank you very much.